two people sitting having a conversation on the internet. You sit and think and wonder to yourself, is this a podcast? Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Is This a Podcast? I'm your host, David Thorne. Today I have with me comedian Kevin Heisinger.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being on, Kevin. So let's go ahead and get into it. I know that I met you in Sacramento. You're living in LA now. Are you originally from Sacramento?
Yeah, I'm from Northern California. I grew up in a small town called Auburn.
Okay.
Moved to Sacramento when I turned 21. And that's where I got my start in comedy, is at the Comedy Spot.
Ooh.
Did a little open mic. It was cute. I brought like 10 people. That's the only reason I showed up late, and they almost didn't put me on. He's giving me attitude, but I said, like, I'm bringing 10 people. I'm like, oh, welcome to the list.
It's like here's extra 5 minutes.
And like we were pretty much the whole audience. There was 2 other people.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
Was it one of those deals where you finished your set and you left and you took the entire crowd with you?
Yeah, well, I was near the end, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was so fun. I was so nervous. I had like my little piece of paper in my hand. I was just like reading punchlines off it. And I was like, God, what if I suck? Oh my God. But I went up there, yeah, and like I told them it was my first time going, so they introduced me out. And he got my name wrong.
Really?
So that was it's like, Ryan Heisinger. I'm like, no.
Ryan? That's funny.
So,
Ryan.
That was a good time.
He didn't call you the Zinger Slinger.
Zinger Slinger. People mess up my last name. The last time I was at the Comedy Spot, she said Kevin Heisinger. And I was like, wait, what? And I walked out, I was like, no one's ever said that. I've gotten like Hellraiser, Hellsinger.
Hell's what? That's pretty freaking weird.
It is weird. It's a weird last name, but I dig it.
So you say you went to high school. That is actually one of the things I wanted to ask you about. You went in
go to high school. Auburn, California.
So now Auburn, that's a place in Alabama. So, where there's actually a college there, and that's the big rivalry in Alabama is Alabama versus Auburn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I always liked Auburn better. Fuck Alabama. But that's beside the point. Anyway, Auburn, what was going to high school in Auburn, California like?
It was different because in middle school, from 3rd to 8th grade, I was in a very private school called Waldorf. I don't know if you've heard of it. Mm-mm. It's weird. You hear private and you think like rich people, you think like matching uniforms, but it's like a hippie school and it's just different. They don't really teach you things. They kind of just like, I don't know, they teach you cursive and ballet, eurythmy. It was weird, dude. Like, and then I went into high school. My graduating class in 8th grade was like 15 people. Mm-hmm. And then I went to this high school with like, in my grade, there was like 1,200 people. And it was just crazy. I'm like, whoa, you guys use computers? Like, you guys read books? You guys expect me to be good at math, even though I haven't done it in 7 years? Like, it's just...
So they didn't have you do any regular curriculum classes, just like...
Hardly, man. They don't teach you history. They don't teach you current events. They don't teach you about so much stuff. They just basically taught you... We had a woodworking class, and I made a spoon. And that's like... and it took me the entire year, but I would just dig around with my friends. And it was just... It's very hippie. They taught us... We literally, at one point in 5th grade, I'll never forget, our entire class went around a tree, and our teacher was such a hippie, just like, oh my God, it's so pretty. And we were literally like hugging the tree and trying to listen to its heartbeat.
What?
We were literally tree hugging. And I'm like, guys, this is what they call us hippies, is tree huggers. Like, I'm trying to like not be the stereotype. I'm trying to be cool. I'm just trying to be liberal. And you guys, I was 10 years old, and I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever done.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge advocate for Waldorf education. It's just weird. It's expensive, and they just they don't use computers. They don't.
Are they Amish?
Might as well be. Because, like, they have a whole thing. The craziest thing is, like, you can't come to school with any labels on your shirt, like, because they think you're just, you're a brand or something.
Yeah.
And like, You have to wear plain clothing at all time. And these kids sometimes would come in with like Nike logos, and they would tape it with duct tape because it just wasn't allowed. Isn't that weird? Like,
that is weird.
They don't want any like logos or brands or anything because they just think you're like a slave to the system. It's just some weird hippie bullshit.
And you get like I guess you get a degree. You don't get a degree from elementary school, obviously.
No,
I guess you get a little piece of paper saying you graduated, but it doesn't mean anything.
That's it. They don't grade you. Isn't that crazy? They would give you like a gold star. You got a rainbow for the entire year. You get a little sticker.
It's just like
it's weird, man. I'm not a huge fan, only because I feel like I was gypped from an education from 3rd to 8th grade.
Yeah.
And when I went to high school, it was just a culture shock. And I shit you not, like my freshman year was crazy because I can't tell you how many fucking fights I saw. Like,
really?
In class, yeah, this one crazy kid thought he was like such a gangster and tried to fight the teacher, and he like shoved him out of the classroom. And this one like really racist kid got in like 3 fights, and I had all my classes with him, and he was so creepy. Yeah, this motherfucker had. Sorry if I'm swearing. Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Now I ask, but this motherfucker had a swastika on his binder that he would keep on his desk. And this black kid saw him, and he just like went to town and started beating the shit out of them. And my teacher had to split it up. And my teacher was like, I mean, I don't really care that they were fighting. I just like they were right next to all the computers. I wanted them to break anything.
It's like I don't care. I'm not concerned for the safety of the children,
really?
But more concerned than the property of the school.
Because then he has to fucking pay because he's liable. Just like guys, take it outside.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care if you kill each other, just don't do it in here. That's crazy.
And like, because I don't know what it is about Auburn, California, because it's a small town. And like, there's suburbia, but then it's kind of poor. You got like a lot of meth heads.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to use the word, but yeah, a lot of rednecks. And
yeah, you can use that word.
My bad. The R. I dropped the hard R right there.
Oh man, you just gave me an idea. I ought to use that shit for
Write it down.
Oh, I'm gonna write it down.
And because like, I don't know, are you familiar? Did you ever go to like Colfax up there?
No, never.
It's way worse. It's only like 15 miles from Auburn, and that was like the deep red. It felt like I was in the deep south. Like these guys had like Confederate flags on their front lawn. What? And it's just weird. And like, you think it's like California is such a small town, but it's just, it gets rural out there, and you got like a lot of backward ass people. And there was this one kid specifically, I forget his name, but he was a total just like piece of crap. And he wrote on this cement like, I hate the N-word. And the same black guy that beat up that other guy saw this motherfucker, he saw him write that, and I'll never forget, I was walking upstairs, and all I see is the black guy go up to him like, hey, what's up? Boom. And this dude, and he like went up, and just bam, hit the cement. And it was that, I'll never forget that. And this kid was like, oh God, and he like ran to the principal. And like, this kid was such a piece of shit, and I knew it. So just to see him get his just ass kicked was a good moment. He got expelled the next year because he like brought guns to school. Like,
oh shit!
That's what I'm talking about. Like, Auburn's fucking weird. Like, it's just a mixture of suburbia and just like some backward ass people. Like, I'm on their Facebook group right now, and it is just, it's bad. It's like so many, it's like Trump supporters and all these like people like the mask shaming, and just like it's bad. They're comparing Gavin Newsom to Hitler because we had to quarantine for a couple months. Like, I don't compare it to the Holocaust, dude. That's not.
The whole thing I got with Gavin Newsom is I think he may be gay with all these mandates lately.
That's a good one. But they straight up, they hate him. They hate him, and they love Trump. But it's like, I don't understand you people.
I don't.
And, like,
and then they're like, you people? Who you calling you people?
And like, that's the thing, because I grew up surrounded by a bunch of conservative kids who hated black people. And I'm just sitting there like, why do you hate black people so much? And I literally told this kid, like, you've never met one, you've never seen one. What is your problem? And like, he just talks about how his dad something met a black guy. I'm like, dude, shut up.
It's all taught.
I know. And I was in marching band, highly regret it. But the leader of the band, which is called like the drum major, you know, like the baton who leads the whole band.
Yeah.
Him and his buddy, like we would be practicing on the football field, and his buddy during PE class would be like, "What power?" And they would say it back, kind of as like the Chappelle sketch, but it was kind of serious at the same time. They would kept saying that every day. And so one day specifically, which is a proud moment of mine, they said like, "What power?" And I yelled at him. I'm like, "Shut up!" And the kid was like, "Who the hell just said that?" And the PE teacher screamed at him like, "Sam, knock it off! Get back to fucking work." So that was cool. I was just like, "Fuck you, dude! Like, you're such a racist little cunt." Like,
yeah.
So I just was like, I grew up. I'm just so glad that my parents are Democrats, and I just like, you shouldn't judge people by the color of their skin.
Exactly.
By the content of their character.
Exactly. And how stupid they are.
Yeah.
Judge them on their stupid actions, not how they look.
Yeah. So it's just bad. Yeah. And it just makes me sad. And what's even crazier is that like Auburn, like I feel like every year I hear a story about someone I used to know that's either in prison or dead or like, oh yeah, because I was in band and my drumline coach and this girl who's my age, and she was 13 when I met her. And this dude was like in his late 30s. He was married.
Yeah.
And they were like this. They were BFFs. And I'm like, okay, what's kind of weird? I found out a couple years ago, I guess they're married now. And he left his wife to be with her.
Oh, wow.
And he's like in his 40s. And when I met her, she was 13, and he was giving her rides to school.
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
I have a joke about it where it's like, I always thought he was more of a father figure, but I guess he was more of a daddy. So it's just gross. Yeah, that's like one of the big stories from my high school. Like, I just didn't really realize, like, there's just dysfunction, you know, like in suburbia.
So you said you did marching band? And you played,
yeah, but...
Was it drums?
It was drums, which is like my reasoning for, like, it's not lame because I'm in the percussion section.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I regret it though. Just because my teacher was a dick, and the band kids were dicks to me too. Like, they thought they were so cool because they listened to jazz because they were 14.
What?
And they've still never had sex to this day.
That's funny.
It pissed me off. And like my band teacher was always really rude to us percussionists. He would always call us stupid. And I actually ended up quitting my senior year because you're just such an asshole. And he begged me to come back, and I was like, no. Like, you call me stupid every day, asshole, making gay jokes about me. I'm like,
what? Your teacher?
Yeah, my teacher. My high school teachers were rude to me.
You were going to high school and getting picked on by your fucking
by
teacher.
My teachers.
God,
how sad is that?
That sounds like a fucking redneck high school. It's just
really
like the high school was ran by fucking rednecks or something. That like
it's sad.
That sounds like some shit that would happen like back where I'm from, but I never got picked on by my teachers.
Yeah, no, it's not okay. Like, I was friends with most of them, but there was my band teacher and a couple others where I'm just like, God, what a bunch of pieces of shit.
Well, maybe.
But to be fair, in karma, this motherfucker, he bought a Dodge Challenger for like $100,000 or whatever. And some kid hated him so much, he threw a brick through his front windshield. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe if you're not such a cunt to your students, maybe someone might not trash your car.
Maybe it's just band teachers that are assholes, because I know when I was in elementary school, my band teacher was an asshole to me. At one point, I played saxophone. My saxophone case had broken. The hinges had came loose. And I had a plastic belt holding the shit together. And I took it in there, and my parents were renting the instrument, so I was like, hey, you need to fix this. What do I need to do? And he mouthed off to me and said something smart, and I got smart back with him. Dude. And he was like, give me that belt. I'm like, why? He's like, because I'm going to spank you with it. I'm like, no, you're not. And then I like didn't give him the belt, and I went home and told my dad, and my dad freaking like looked his number up, waited like 2 in the morning and called him up at 2 in the morning and cussed him out, and then they took me out of band.
Nice.
It's just
I don't know what it is. Yeah, just like band kids and like the band teacher. I don't know. He was miserable though. Like, I think he's divorced now. He's fairly ugly, bald, wears his like socks and sandals. He's just Birkenstocks, I guess. Yeah. So
Birkenstocks.
at the end of the day, I held a lot of hatred towards him, but I just feel bad for him because that's his life. Like, he's a failed musician, and he's a band teacher now, and like he acts like it's the Philharmonic, like it's just the biggest fucking deal. But it's like, we're horny, we're all trying to fuck each other. We just got out of 8th grade. Like, you really expect us to sit here and play a music piece beautifully? What was funny is, like, we had concert season, and we would have a concert and they would record the audio, and then the next day we would just listen to it, and he would just sit there and just talk shit.
Really?
And just like, that was flat, that sounds terrible, all this shit. It was kind of, looking back, it's funny, like, I have material for it, but it's just like, I regret it because he's just such an asshole.
Yeah.
But it happens. But that was high school for me, surrounded by a bunch of rednecks and band kids.
Sounds like my high school minus the band kids, just the rednecks.
Which is weird. I just felt like I was in the deep south, but I'm like, I'm in Auburn, California. Like,
it sounds like the deep south the way you described it, and I like the fact that there was the one black kid that kept punching the Nazi kids. It's just
every time.
It's like he's there to stomp out the ignorant people. That's pretty good.
Really was. There was like, he was the only black kid.
There's only one. That sounds like...
I mean, there was maybe 3 or 4, but he was the only one I remember.
Yeah, that's about how my elementary school was. Kindergarten through 8th grade, there were only 2 black kids the entire time. I didn't know what black women looked like till I got to high school.
Wow.
That's when I realized I like them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're cute.
Definitely. Anyway, there's another topic that I want to go ahead and move on to. One of my favorite topics, and that is drug trips. Got any cool stories to share about any interesting things you've had happen under the influences of drugs?
Not really, honestly. I've only done drugs. I did, like, the first time I did shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a river with a lot of young ladies. That was about it. I just, like, sat there. They were all kind of awkward, like hippie girls.
Yeah.
They were chilling, playing music, and I just kind of just sat by the river and just, like, threw rocks at it. I just thought to myself, like, this is life. Life is just a stream, and it just keeps going. And that was it. And I was, like, surrounded by just such a bunch of weirdos. It wasn't a good trip. It was just kind of boring.
Did you learn anything about yourself?
I mean, the second time I did shrooms was awful. I hated it. And the come down, I got so depressed. I was just, like, freaking out. I don't do well with psychedelics. I'm an uppers girl. I don't, like...
Yeah.
I'm not, like... I have a lot of anxiety and like ADHD, so if I'm gonna take something, it's gonna make it way worse. Like, I don't want to take something and just see a bunch of things, like freak the hell out and not be in control. Like, it just, I don't even like taking edibles. Those are the weirdest. Like, that was a fun story. I was at a Weezer concert.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
And yeah, this is funny. I was at like City of Trees at the Cal Expo with a bunch of awkward people. My cousin hands me a gummy. It's been like 30 minutes. I'm not feeling anything. And I made the rookie mistake. It's like, I'm not feeling anything. Give me another one. And so I took another one, and then boom.
All of them
hit me. I didn't realize it was like 20 milligrams. It was like 10 each for the gummies. I was like, oh my God. And like Weezer's up there playing Buddy Holly. And just sitting there thinking about my childhood. Just sitting there thinking about all these things I'm insecure about. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God. But then Weezer stopped playing, and like it was in between, like, Kev, like, we want to go get some food. And we were in the front row, and I turned around and I just see a sea of people. And some of them are sitting down, some of them are standing up, but I had to leave the group to go get some food.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I was freaking the fuck out. Because I don't do well in like big crowds either. It gives me anxiety. So to be high on top of that, I was like, oh, yeah, this is bad. But it was so funny. I want to talk about it in my stand-up because I was just like, people were sitting down and I was like jumping over them. Like people were kissing. I was like maneuvering and it was just like a whole ninja. And like my whole thing was like people are sitting and standing. I'm like, I can't touch any of these people because they will get pissed off at me. And I just maneuvered my entire way, like across an entire soccer field of just like sitting and standing. And I was just maneuvering and like weaving out. So that was funny. But then, and then we saw Panic at the Disco, and that was a nightmare. That was awful.
Really?
Yeah, I do not like that. I like Weezer was awesome. Like,
Oh yeah, that's Weezer.
Like, they kick ass, but Panic at the Disco was the headliner. I'm like, why? What? Why would you?
I've went to concerts before and left when the headliner came on. Like,
Yeah, it's a thing.
Some people are gonna be like, "What the hell's wrong with you, David?" But I went to Ozfest one time, and when Ozzy got on, we left.
Oh man,
We stayed all day, and then Ozzy got on. I was like, "We don't give a shit about Ozzy," and we left.
it happens. I mean, I don't know how. I've never seen him. I used to be a big Black Sabbath fan, but he's done a lot of drugs, so I'm not sure.
Not sure
how he is.
Got to see Rob Zombie. He puts on a good stage show.
That's good. Love his music. I hate his movies though. Rob Zombie.
Yeah, I mean,
they're so bad. Some people really liked them. I saw House of a Thousand Corpses, and I thought that was like one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Devil's Rejects wasn't terrible.
That was pretty good. I will give him that one. That's the only decent movie he's made.
I'll say that House of a Thousand Corpses was okay. It was like a passable horror movie. It wasn't terrible, but
I just hated it.
Devil's Rejects was actually fucking good.
That was cool because, spoiler, I mean, they die at the end. Well, they don't die because they made that dumbass sequel.
3 from Hell or whatever.
Yeah, so that whole badass scene at the end was worth nothing. How do they survive that? They got shot 10 times each in the chest. And they just come back oh, they were all in comas. They're fine now. It's okay.
They've completely recovered.
Yeah. And my big thing is I can't forgive Rob Zombie for his Halloween remake. I don't know if you saw that.
Which one?
Halloween, remember?
Didn't he have 2 of them? He made one and then he made another one?
Yeah, he made a sequel to it. Yeah, it was in 2007.
Yeah.
And I love horror movies. I'm a big movie buff, and Halloween is one of my favorites. And his remake was one of the worst movies. He took everything scary about the first one and was like, let's not do that. Let's Michael Myers, the little suburban kid that kills for no reason. Let's make him a little trailer trash kid who got beat by his dad. Let's give him a reason to kill people. Right?
Yeah.
The whole thing about Michael Myers is that he snaps for no reason. And that's what makes him so creepy. He just had normal suburban parents. But this one was oh no, he's like a trailer trash piece of shit. We all saw it coming.
Let's make everybody feel for Michael Myers.
Right? Poor kid.
He was always the scariest of them anyway, because Michael Myers was actually a real guy. Well, not a real guy, but he was a human. He wasn't supernatural like Jason or Freddy.
Yeah, Jason is so... I like those movies though. Those are so stupid. Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
Just because, I don't know. I would say the first 2 were pretty solid, and the fourth one's got Corey Feldman. I met Corey Feldman.
Really? Where at?
Oh my god, it was at Holy Diver with his band. He's the leader of a cult, right?
Who? Corey Feldman?
Charlie. Yeah, Charlie's.
I'd be glad to help you find that place.
And have you seen his Today Show stuff? It's
No.
So cringy. He went on the Today Show and he's trying to be Michael Jackson. Isn't that great? The little Lost Boy kid is this little white guy is trying to be Michael Jackson.
And he's the leader of a cult.
And he has these girls and he's paying them. They're all models, super skinny, dressed like angels. And I will say though, they were decent musicians, but Corey fucking sucks. It's and I knew it was gonna be bad, but I went just to meet him, and it was just the worst concert. Who has 3 opening acts for your band, right? Usually just have one, but he had 3 opening bands. I was there till almost midnight, and it was so funny. The place was 90% full, and then by the time he started playing a few songs in, by the end of it, it was maybe 15-20%. Everyone just noped out. Or just this was a mistake, and I regret seeing Corey Feldman perform. But I have a video of it on my Insta.
Oh damn! Oh, Corey Feldman.
Oh, definitely look that up. His music is probably the worst thing.
I didn't even know he did music.
I know, it's just if you I like cringy videos myself, on Reddit, and that always pops up as his Today Show performance, and I can never get through it because this girl is on a keyboard playing stuff, and he's just up there doing Michael Jackson moves, and I'm like, stop. He dresses like him. It's so bad.
That's
Poor
crazy.
guy.
So a cult. I never knew there was a cult.
I mean, I say that loosely, but they
Loosely.
do sign contracts where they can't like drink alcohol or do drugs or anything, and I think they have sex with him.
What? That's funny.
It's weird. I know a lot of them have come forward and said it was super weird and creepy. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but it definitely, they seemed like they were lost and kind of scared. So, Corey's Angels, I think, that was their concert. There was like their debut. I don't think they're around anymore. I don't think he's touring anymore.
Probably
He's trying
not.
to promote that documentary.
I don't know. So, I know I met you on the Sacramento comedy scene, but
Comedy
you have
Spot.
since, at the Comedy Spot, that's where I started doing comedy too.
Nice.
But you've since moved on to bigger, better things. You're down in the sunny Southern California and the
It is
Los
sunny.
Angeles. How is it down there?
Angeles. Well, I moved in 2020, and I don't know if you know this, but 2020 has been kind of a crazy year.
No, I bet you're over.
It's been it's just like when I first started, the open mics are kind of tough. It's just the other comedians, and they don't really think anything is funny. But I've been getting booked a lot more, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But it's also for like this thing called bringer shows, where it's just like, oh, we'll book you, but you got to bring at least 5 people. It's a 2-drink minimum. Oh, and tickets are $20. I'm like, what the hell? And that's just kind of like how you're gonna make it out here. And I don't have a big fan base or anything, so it's not like I'm putting a lot of butts in those seats.
Yeah. That's
So,
what you gotta get, I guess.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. I want to get booked more because that's the good audience. Open mics are the bad audience. I'm done with those. They suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's tough. But then, and like I had my last show over at Flappers. It went super well. My confidence came back up. The next day, boom, coronavirus.
Oh, man.
Quarantine.
Was that the night after you headlined at Flappers, or didn't you do it?
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
Whoa, you got to headline at Flappers and then
Headline at Flappers, and I'll never forget. I drove to the Ice House in Pasadena the next day for their open mic because I love that place, and fenced off. It's like, sorry, we're closed due to COVID. And then I got a notification on my phone saying like the NBA is shut down. I'm like, oh, this is serious. It was like, it felt like I was looking out at the city and just like all the lights slowly turned off. I'm like, oh.
Wow.
I guess this COVID is serious. And like, yeah, the next 3 months, I've done these little like Zoom mics and virtual stuff, Insta live videos, but
the same
same.
generation.
So so it's been, it's like people ask me like how it's going down here. I'm like, well, LA doesn't really exist right now.
Is everything really still shut down and locked down?
No,
like
it's
that?
opening up. Like, well, what's crazy is like we had quarantine, and then all of a sudden, hey, let's go out and protest. So it's just like, let's go loot downtown Los Angeles. So it went from nothing to everything in like a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
It's opening up. I know like a few of the bars down the street like require you to like have a table like 6 feet away, but they're opening. You can dine in.
Oh,
I got a
yeah.
glass of wine at a bar, and that was cool.
Yeah, mics have been opening back up here. Like the bar mics, the good ones.
Yeah, like the restaurant.
Yeah, the ones where people come there to not see comedy.
Hey, sometimes they're good. It's really hit or miss with those audiences, though. Like, an open mic gets forced on them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're open to it, but a lot of times they're just like, could you shut up? Like, I bombed so hard at some of those.
Yeah.
Like, over at High Water. It happens, though.
Oh, man, I've bombed at High Water a few times. Like, bombing's
Every-
always fun. You gotta get those bombs out of the way. You gotta get them out of the way at
know.
open mics. That's why you gotta do so many open mics. Go up there and eat shit at open mics, so when you go to shows, you're ready to kill it.
I know, I'm not used to it, especially in LA. I bombed so hard. I'm just like, this sucks. I've literally been on stage, just been like, I have a few more jokes, but I'm done. I just put the mic down.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
I would like to get on stage out in LA personally. I feel like I could maybe do good there. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a handful of mics that are good. There's only a few. Like, a lot of them suck. Because they're all just kind of like friends with each other, and I don't know, they're really snooty in LA. I don't know if they're there.
The comedy scene snooty? No.
Yeah, it's
I
really
never would have guessed.
It's weird.
That's
right?
so weird. I mean, it's good community,
yeah.
but yeah, I feel what you're saying. Like you said,
You would do well over like the Ice House or Flappers. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I would like to go
just
come down and check out LA sometime. Most definitely.
just be grateful you got your start in SAC and you know you're funny. So at least you have that. So if I started in LA at these open mics, I would have probably given up already. So.
Why? Because they would have like not treated you like.
Oh, they just because like they don't laugh at my jokes at the open mics, and I feel like I suck, you know. So just like I'm just glad that I've been, you know, like in Sacramento, they laugh. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody's
a
not
boost.
like out for themselves and being like, oh.
Yeah, like I don't
they're
even
just
know
like, oh, I don't want to make him think that I'm funnier or he's funnier than
I don't
me.
even. Yeah, it's just weird. Like I had this one girl, I do that whole bit about Smash Mouth and how they suck. And this one girl right after my set, she was a little younger, but she went up and she's like, well, Walking on the Sun is a pretty good song. And she's like offended, like, so anyway. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you mad about my Smash Mouth jokes? Are you gonna get fucking offended that I don't like Smash Mouth? The worst fucking man. But she just like the way she said it, I'm like, that wasn't funny. But she was like legit like,
She's
it's
like,
my favorite band.
she's like,
you
you hate.
just fuck with them real.
It's like you hate Smash Mouth. Do you also hate Shrek?
And that was my whole bit. I'm just like, yeah, because like watching them gave me PTSD, like post-traumatic Shrek disorder. And like they just look at me like I'm an asshole. They're just like, I don't know. It's just that's the whole bit. Is like Smash Mouth sucks, but I just think it's funny that like she would get mad.
I feel like that's the LA scene because it's a bigger scene or it's like more exposure there. Like SF's that way too, from what I've heard, but I've never been to SF, so I can't really say. I mean, I know everybody.
It kind of is the same. I've done a few shows out there, and it's just the other comedians, and because they're in SF and they got that culture, I don't know. They just don't. They didn't really think it was that funny. I'm like, all right, well, am I funny? Am I not funny? I guess I'll never
just gotta
know.
go up there and be like, well, I know people have laughed at this before, so you guys are fucking stupid.
I know. I've had, and I'm not the only one that's been like bombing out there at that, because like this one comedian is like, oh, I'm just pausing for where the laughs usually are. Just like, forgive me. It's like, it's different. It's not ideal, but it's been going okay. Needless to say, like my Netflix special is coming out in a couple of weeks. I want you guys to check it out.
Yeah, nice. Is it live from Zoom?
It's called I Peaked in High School.
I was on acid. No.
Oh yeah, did you do your acid?
Oh my god, yeah, I did.
Tell me.
Oh, I
Family
almost
barbecue?
had a bad trip.
Oh no.
I was singing The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and you know the part where he says the devil jumped up on a hickory stump? I jumped up on Sean C's deck, and a board went up through his like dog bed up. I have a video of it. I can like show it to you later. And I almost fell and broke all my fucking teeth out, but I didn't.
Ooh.
I'm of the mindset that because I was on LSD, I was able to react and not bust my teeth open because, yeah, it was, it sucked. It was recorded though, so it was one of those things where it's like, I know after it happened, like the person who recorded it was showing her family and she like played it like over and over and I'm like, God, can we stop reliving my pain?
You did you did acid with Sean C?
Well, they weren't on it. I did it by myself.
By yourself?
Yeah, everybody else was there. I think we had a few people on shrooms, people drinking,
okay,
smoking.
so they're doing something.
Yeah. I wasn't the only. I was probably the most gone person there because I for the first hour that I was sitting there, I was sitting on the grass with a glass, looking into the freaking glass, just looking into it.
Right.
And yeah. It was a good time.
It happens.
Yeah.
I haven't done acid. I wouldn't know, but I'm sure.
We had that the little barbecue, and it basically turned into an open mic because he pulled out his karaoke stuff, and we sang karaoke, went up there, told jokes, just had a good time. It was fun. He talks like he's gonna try to do it more often. I'm like, yeah, you should. Like, set a mic up in your backyard and invite your neighbors, man. It's a crowd.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, in these trying times, we got to do what we got to do, I guess.
Acid on a barbecue.
Oh yeah, acid and barbecue. I had to upgrade from just doing the mushrooms, and that's old. They're two totally different beasts. That's for fucking sure.
What would you say is different about acid?
Acid's like, oh man, it's more not more chaotic. It's just more intense.
Yeah.
Maybe because I haven't done it so much, but it's very, very, very intense. I didn't get like a lot of hallucinations. It's hard to explain. It's like your mind's spinning. It's like your mind's dirty laundry, and it's just like spinning around, and the folds in your brain flatten out, and then they just wrinkle back up. I don't know.
So basically, you kind of like see more things. That was more visual.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I didn't really get that many visuals. It was more just like staring and thinking and the feeling. It's very hard to explain. It's like,
yeah.
I know at one point yesterday, it was like those 80s commercials about drugs make sense now. This is your brain on drugs. And then the eggs frying, I'm like, yeah, that's how my brain feels right now.
Just like sunk into the couch.
Yep. Injected marijuanas.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
This is my favorite. I love the PSAs, like the G.I. Joe PSAs.
Oh god, man, those were so great.
So funny.
So
I love
great.
Like, the edits too, the ones on YouTube, those are so good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking right.
Fucking right.
Comedy. Hopefully it's coming back soon. What I like to close on, I mean, I know you've been doing the comedy around LA, maybe not have any shows coming up, but what are your plans for comedy, your long-term goals, anything like that? What are you shooting for, Kevin?
I don't know, man. It's just like this whole thing, I wouldn't say it's like breaking my spirit, but I'm just questioning myself. I'm like, what do I want to do? Like, the goal is to, go to like the Laugh Factory, Comedy Store. And I still want to. I still can. I just, how? So I guess that's still my goal, is to get either one of those, the premium ones. I did a show over at the Arena Stage in Hollywood. That went well.
Oh, wow.
And that guy usually books people at the Comedy Store, so I'm trying to get in contact with him so I could do that again. But,
yeah. So, I mean, if it's not like booked through the Comedy Store, he books shows there that...
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like, how they do the stuff at Punchline with...
Yeah, he has a specific, show that it's, once or, twice a month.
Okay, yeah.
And,
like
once
a showcase.
Yeah, so it's, that old type of thing. And I was there to support my buddy, but, I'd say about 50% of those comedians weren't funny, but they brought people. That's the only reason they knew the booker, and they brought people. That's the only reason they went on stage.
That's bullshit, though. It shouldn't be
know.
like that, but it's who you know.
It really is, and that's the thing about comedy. You don't even have to be funny to be up there. You just need to know people, and you just need to bring people and put butts in those seats, and that's it.
I wonder if there's anybody that's on Netflix that was a bringer.
I know, because they are technically now, because they're a big name.
Yeah. I mean, you become a bringer once you become a big name, but
just how do you become that big name?
Yeah, you just have to work for it, I guess, and keep
work
grinding.
for it.
Just work your ass off, or just do
hard.
it.
Yeah.
Or just do it because you love it, and maybe something will happen one day. That's what I plan. That's my plan for it. I'm just gonna keep doing it till I die. Why not?
There you go, die on stage.
Exactly. I want to go on stage and kill and then die. It'll be like a murder-suicide.
No. Go out with your wheelchair, just with your little IV.
Yeah.
Tell jokes. That'd be good. Well, that's a good goal. Yeah, I guess my only goal is to perform at the Comedy Store maybe once and then die.
I mean, short-term goals, I'd like to get past at Laughs Unlimited, but that's going to require a clean set, and I don't know if I have the mental capacity to write anything clean. I mean,
why do you have to be clean? Isn't that, it's a bar.
It is a bar, but they stray more toward cleaner comedy. Like,
That's
not
weird.
squeaky clean, but, you know, not like...
Politically correct, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm still in a gray area of what clean comedy is, personally, because, I mean, I've been told that my stuff's not that dirty, it's just dark.
Yeah, just you do talk about suicide a lot. That's
yeah.
pretty dark.
I like going up first. I like taking the bullet and then doing
Me
suicide
too.
jokes.
That's always my favorite.
Taking bullet and doing suicide jokes. That's my new thing. If I have to go first, I'm like, I'm taking bullet. So y'all getting these? This is a good way to...
And that was my first thing at the Comedy Spot, because like people go to open mics with low expectations, and I'm pretty funny. So when I would go first, they would like laugh, like generally. So it would be a confidence boost, because you know, they just thought we were gonna suck. So I missed that.
Yeah.
First.
I don't know. I've got to where I like to go last at open mics.
The headliner.
I like to headline the open mics. I'll be like, I gotta get used to going last anyway.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Could you imagine?
Only thing about that though, sometimes is like, because the open mics kind of suck, half the audience leaves.
Yeah, but you know, fuck those people. They weren't there for the comedy. The people that matter are the ones that stay.
Right. Especially, oh my god, I'll never forget those grad nights when it'd be packed, but then they put me right after the students, and all of them left.
Yeah, like
all their
right
friends were like, "You kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like it was a full house, and then by the time I went on, it was like 5 people. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
The people that graduate from the comedy class and do one open mic and then you never see them again.
Never see them again.
Never see them again.
It's just a bucket list thing, because 90% of them aren't funny, so it's just like, but there's still a solid 10%. But it's just funny. I always want to say when they leave, like, don't leave, I'm a student too. I'm a DUI graduate.
Hell yeah.
But no, that didn't work out. But,
yeah.
Cheers.
All right, man. Well, guess we'll go ahead and close it out now. Do you have any social media that you want to let anybody know about? Any projects you're working on that people should check out? Just go ahead and plug that now, dude.
Plug it right here. I'm on Instagram, just at Kevin Heisinger, H-E-I Singer. I also have a podcast, Midnight Movie Night. It's on Instagram. It is on Facebook. David Thorne said he wants to be a part of it. I'm going to hold him to it.
Oh, definitely.
We're going to pick a bad movie. You said Murder Cycle.
Murder Cycle. Yes, fucking definitely goddamn Murder Cycle.
Possibly. I was thinking Torque would be your episode. Did you ever see that? It's a Fast and Furious ripoff. It's fucking hilarious. They act like cars are stupid, but motorcycles are better. And like I think one of those series ended up more successful. I don't know which one.
Yeah, probably Fast and the Furious.
I guess it made like $1 billion.
Yeah, but no, Murder Cycle definitely, dude. That's one of the greatest horrible movies ever made. It's fucking.
I'll have to check it out.
Definitely. If we do an episode, I would recommend Murder Cycle because it's a fucking good time.
Murder that cycle.
But yeah, dude, thanks again for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. I will talk to you some other time, and you take it easy, brother.
You too. Cheers.
Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell me what you thought. Follow me on Twitch at The Southern Reject. Thanks. Have a good day.